Have you ever heard of the Leper King? It's a fascinating story about a courageous ruler who faced one of the most challenging circumstances imaginable. Can you imagine being a king and having to deal with a debilitating disease like leprosy? In an era when leprosy was highly stigmatized and misunderstood, how would you have coped with such a diagnosis? Today, we'll explore the life and legacy of King Baldwin IV, a remarkable leader who defied the odds and left an indelible mark on history. How did he manage to rule effectively while battling such a devastating illness? What kind of strength and resilience must it have taken to overcome the physical and societal challenges he faced? Childhood and early signs of leprosy. King Baldwin IV was born in 1161 to King Amalric I and Queen Agnes of Courtenay in the Kingdom of Jerusalem. As a young prince, he enjoyed a lavish upbringing befitting his royal status. Can you imagine growing up in such opulence with every need catered to? It's a stark contrast to the hardships he would later endure. However, when he was just 9 years old, a devastating discovery was made. While playing with other children, it was noticed that Baldwin didn't react to pain or discomfort, which raised concerns about his health. Can you imagine not feeling pain or discomfort as a child? It must have been a puzzling and worrying situation for those around him. How might such a condition have affected his childhood and development? Upon further examination, doctors diagnosed the initial signs of leprosy in Baldwin's right arm. Leprosy, also known as Hansen's disease, was a dreaded and highly contagious disease at the time, and those afflicted often faced social stigma, isolation, and even banishment. The disease caused skin lesions, nerve damage, and disfigurement, and was believed to be a punishment from God. Can you imagine the fear and uncertainty that must have gripped the royal family upon receiving such a diagnosis? In a society where lepers were outcasts, how might this have impacted Baldwin's future prospects and his family's reputation? Fearing the consequences of such a revelation, King Amalric kept his son's condition a secret, as it could have jeopardized Baldwin's claim to the throne. How would you have reacted if you were in King Amalric's position, torn between protecting your child's future and being truthful about his condition? It must have been an agonizing decision, weighing the potential ramifications of each course of action. Courage and determination. Despite the grim prognosis, Baldwin exhibited remarkable courage and determination. He refused to be treated differently and actively pursued challenges just like any other child his age. Can you imagine the strength of character it must have taken for a young boy to face such adversity with such resilience? With access to the finest education available, Baldwin excelled in various disciplines, including military skills. One of his greatest achievements was mastering horseback riding using only his left arm and legs. As a royal, this skill was essential, and Baldwin's perseverance allowed him to excel in this area despite his limitations. How impressive is it that he was able to adapt and overcome such a significant physical challenge? Imagine the hours of practice and determination it must have taken for Baldwin to become proficient in horseback riding with just one arm and his legs. How might his disability have fueled his drive to succeed, proving to himself and others that he was capable despite his condition? In addition to his physical prowess, Baldwin was also known for his intellectual abilities. He was well educated in languages, philosophy, and theology, and was said to possess a keen strategic mind. This combination of physical and mental fortitude would serve him well in his future role as a leader. Ascension to the throne and struggles. In 1174, upon King Amalric's death, Baldwin was crowned the King of Jerusalem at the age of 13. However, his leprosy had progressed significantly, and concerns arose about his ability to rule effectively. Can you imagine the pressure and scrutiny he must have faced, taking on such a critical role while battling a debilitating disease? The Kingdom of Jerusalem was a Crusader state established in the Levant after the First Crusade in 1099. Baldwin IV ascended to the throne during a period of political instability and constant threats from the surrounding Muslim powers, particularly the Ayyubid dynasty led by Saladin, who was rapidly gaining control over much of the region. To secure his position, Baldwin had to navigate a complex web of political intrigues and rivalries among his own nobles and advisors. Despite his deteriorating health, which left him nearly blind and immobile, Baldwin refused to relinquish the throne. He made strategic decisions, such as appointing his nephew, Baldwin V as his heir and Raymond IV of Tripoli as the regent, to maintain stability and prevent power struggles within the kingdom. How incredible is it that he was able to think so clearly and make such crucial decisions despite his physical limitations? Imagine the challenges Baldwin faced in leading a kingdom while struggling with the ravages of leprosy. How might he have commanded respect and authority despite his visible affliction? What kind of mental fortitude must it have required to remain focused on the well-being of his people amidst personal suffering? Furthermore, Baldwin had to contend with the growing military threat posed by Saladin's forces. In a desperate attempt to secure support from the European kingdoms, he even wrote letters pleading for aid. But his pleas went largely unanswered. How might this lack of external support have added to the weight on Baldwin's shoulders? Legacy and impact. King Baldwin IV's reign was marked by his unwavering spirit and determination to uphold the kingdom's integrity. Despite the constant threats from Muslim forces and internal political turmoil, he managed to maintain a fragile peace and stability during his rule. One of Baldwin's most significant achievements was the successful defense of Jerusalem against Saladin's siege in 1177. Despite overwhelming odds, Baldwin's strategic leadership and the bravery of his knights allowed them to hold off Saladin's forces, preserving the city's independence for a few more years. Although his life was cut short by the ravages of leprosy at the age of 24, his legacy lived on through the actions of those he had carefully positioned to succeed him. Can you imagine the impact his leadership must have had, inspiring those around him to carry on his vision? While his brother-in-law, Guy of Lusignan, ultimately failed to defend Jerusalem against Saladin's forces after Baldwin's death, leading to the fall of the Crusader kingdom in 1187, Baldwin's foresight and efforts laid the foundation for the kingdom's future, even if it was short-lived. History often remembers the victors, but Baldwin's story reminds us of the importance of perseverance and resilience, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. How might Baldwin's example have influenced those who followed him, even in the face of defeat? What lessons can we learn from his ability to plan for the future and ensure a smooth transition of power, despite his ailing health? King Baldwin IV's story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of perseverance in the face of adversity. Despite his affliction, he refused to let leprosy define him and remained a steadfast leader until his last breath. Can you think of other examples, historical or modern, of individuals who overcame significant challenges and left a lasting impact? If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more captivating tales from history. Stay tuned for our next video, where we'll explore another fascinating chapter of the past. What other historical figures or events would you like us to cover? Let us know in the comments below.